Hello, I'd like to read to you the introduction of my book Hand to Hand from Combat to Healing. My first book, Hand to Hand from Combat to Healing. Hello. The prologue. It doesn't matter which church you go to, or for that matter, which church you stay away from, all are welcome. The Reverend Benjamin Priest, founder of the Oratory of the Little Way. It was dusk. Gentle drizzle was falling, the raindrops mingling with the beads of sweat which trickled down my face and neck. The stench of human excrement pervaded the air, mixed with the sour smell of smoke and spent bullets. In the distance, an occasional gunshot rang out, followed by the sounds of broken glass, and then the screams. I lay motionless on the cold, hard concrete of a narrow alleyway in the raw, war-ravaged city. My face was pressed against the unforgiving steel of my rifle. Every muscle in my body tensed as my index finger tightened on the trigger. My eye never strayed from its target, the enemy. Bile rose in my throat. Only the twitch of my index finger lay between this man's life and his death. Far from my conscious mind on that grey November day in 1972 was the thought that he, like me, was a human being created in God's likeness. That evening he was the hunter and I was the prey. Trapped by the grey stone walls of that narrow alleyway, all my concentration trained on my target, the seconds turned to minutes. His machine gun trained on me, my rifle trained on him. Breath held. Do I gently squeeze the trigger? He held my life in his hands as surely as I held his. Somewhere in the distance a dog barked, breaking the tension for a split second. It was long enough. The figure slipped into the shadows and I relaxed my finger on the trigger. I rolled over in the gutter. 25 years later, I found myself on my knees, bathed in the peace of a chapel, cradling a sick infant in my arms. The intensity I now bring to my prayers equals the intensity I brought to that alleyway all those years before, but in my arms lies an infant instead of a rifle, and I'm asking God for her to be healed. Instead of training my eyes on the enemy, I train them on the beautiful, trusting eyes of a little girl struggling for her life. God has touched my life in ways I would not have dreamed possible 25 or even 10 years ago. My journey transformed me from Royal Marine Commando to lay minister of healing. 25 years ago, I was trained to kill or be killed. Now it is my privilege to teach people to heal and be healed. The most extraordinary thing about my journey has been its simplicity. The gift of healing given to me to use for others, and the means by which I'm able to exercise that gift, epitomize to me the simple love of God. I feel that I have majored in my life in my heart, that place in me where the love of God resides. I have found in this simplicity that getting out of the way of God, that is to get my own baggage out of the way, to let God's simple love shine through, is perhaps the message that Christ gave us 2,000 years ago. It is a real privilege to tell the stories in this book, tales of real life, of real prayers that have been answered, stories of how faith the size of a mustard seed can move mountains, Matthew 17:20. It is my hope that through the sharing of these stories of miracles, faith, and most of all the hope that belief in God can bring, the door will be open to those who are lost, in pain, or searching for a brighter lamp to light their way, Matthew 5:14. Whatever denomination you are or are not, the simple gift of healing is open to you. It is my hope that these words will bring you closer to your God and to that peace which passes all understanding. I'm reading again from my book, Hand to Hand from Combat to Healing, the revised edition, available from Amazon.com. Be well, do good works, and for the sake of God, love one another. God bless you.